Okay, abusua makwa basronko so ereba POG Media so abusua yembonra yensem Professor Gyampo ere ensem bi ababetuja na ensem ori ababetuja no na ensem ho Gabby eba abonten ebe Prez John Dramani Mahama na Prez na obabe Prez no sa yese adanko daadadre echese sa na looted state funds no and as state properties na or John Dramani Mahama abaso na echese President Mahama edene bonene echese ne kro no bi a wabɔ no waje omo say atames time and a father for all nonsense na Professor Gyampo aka esisu bio say de Gabby ye nyina no adanko daadadre yet Ghana ha echese omode ensem eto John Dramani Mahama so enti no de okanyina no oye den opa onkoshipo nyoma omo awie nyina no ono Gabby no John Dramani Mahama ni emfa omobone enche omo de saa nyoma ni nyina beba enti Gabby empe baby no njina ensem mremo yenko na yenkonkotie ensema Professor Gyampo ede etudwa medamase
allegations and then suspicions of corruption and corruption-related offences that, according to the OSP, he's said to have committed, and including this National Cathedral matter, controversial one as that, as against the Zoom that he's proposing.
Generally, I think people would want him to be here, and the OSP himself, in one of his press conferences, made the point quite forcefully that look, if I succeed in getting him trialed in absentia, and he's found guilty, how do we sentence him? How do we punish him? Okay, so I think the OSP is being commonsensical in his demand that maybe on the weight of the evidence he has against the man, he feels that, look, this man by all means will be convicted, and if he's convicted, to serve as deterrence to people who would tomorrow or who have been given fiduciary trust today, he may have to be punished in a manner that would serve as a lesson to many. And so for him, it will not make sense to try the person in absentia and then say, we have tried him in absentia, we've convicted him, but he is not around. It will not make sense. So I favor and I support the position of the OSP, but generally to say,
Professor Gyampo, can I give one sentence so that it will toughen your argument?
Yes, please.
If he's convicted in absentia, they can still use it for extradition. One. Yeah. Then two, it will pave the way for us to recover the properties. A lot of us are interested in the properties.
Like the Temakulo said in Temakulo case, they could bring
the extradition. But
why not bring her?
Attorney General, Dr. Ayini,
he says you'll bring her back.
Yes, I understand they are trying to extradite her.
Good.
Right? But most especially, Professor Gyampo, then we can go after the assets. We can go after the assets. And then number three, a conviction for those offenses ruins him. So just to make sure that you see how...
Okay, so, but generally, I think that, look, I don't know whether any of us here has been sick before. And so, in my view, if Kenuforiata is truly not well, if he's truly not well, then let him be dealt with in a manner that takes cognizance of his health.
General Pinochet.
Okay, let us deal with him in a manner that also takes cognizance of the fact that he's not well. But it is quite curious, and I don't know whether your producers would now be able to help me by calling a medical doctor on this program, that it appears that the history of arrests and the history of investigations in Ghana always shows that every politician who gets arrested or every politician who is oftentimes being investigated suddenly will fall sick. I don't know whether the arrests or the investigations peaks their blood pressure or sense is a pressure. So the man is well today, very healthy today. He is invited by the police, and then the next time they say he's unwell, he's dying. Recently, wound to me, they said suddenly the man who was.
Sometimes you define it. It's not real.
That is why I'm saying that I need a medical. But it is curious that sickness always goes with such
it's kind of funny. It's not that you are the lawyer.
Generally,
you've seen that, right? And it's not today. It's not now. Like,
generally speaking, persons going through prosecutions tend to have such tendencies. They get sick. Because I've seen big men. So when I say big men, someone matured in age or advanced in age, big man being cross-examined, and in the milieu of that, the person is unable to carry himself because of the burden and begins to cry. The court holds on, proceedings are stopped. Witness, calm down.
I see.
You know, so it happens. And
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thanks for the information. But look, beyond, well, so you are telling me that if somebody is being investigated, somebody is held before a prosecutorial.
Look at Michael
committee
Jackson.
And,
At a point in time, he was having psychiatric issues because the threshold, the emotional threshold of the person becomes quite difficult, and it varies from witness to witness and who is in the box, especially when you are going through that prosecutorial process.
all right, so let me continue to make the point that I favor a very decisive, non-Atamelsian approach to dealing with everybody who has question to answer. And so I applaud what the AG is doing. I commend the OSP for what he is doing. And I want them to continue with this approach. But in doing so, let their officials, especially those national security agents, when they have to effect arrest, when they have to raid, go into people's homes and offices to search, let them not do so like armed robbers, because these things do not reflect the non-rascal persona of John Mahama. I favor every investigation so long as it is going to unearth a problem that would help us to fashion out a solution to it. Recently, they raided the offices of SML. And if you see the way a manner, I said, but if you are looking for information, go ahead and look for it. But don't raid people's offices like you are armed robbers. I think it's about time we trained our national security operatives to behave like professionals. You can go get the information without carrying the suits, carrying the dresses, utensils, and be throwing them on the floor as if some madman has raided you. I think it doesn't make sense. So Bawumia, go ahead and do all the investigations. If there are raids and swoops, go ahead and do it. But President Mahama is a gentleman. He's not a rascal. He's a gentleman, he's a decent man. And so some of these things must reflect his persona. If you go raid people's homes like armed robbery attack, it gives him a negative image that goes contrary to his persona that we know. Beyond that, I also want to say that the OSP itself must have a mature outfit that handles its communication. The OSP itself must have an outfit that effectively communicates some of its reasonings and some of what it is doing to the generality of the citizenry. Sometimes I hear the guy who speaks for them, and I don't think that he's an excellent communicator, and I don't think so. Well, in my view, I don't think that he communicates well. You need a certain sobriety that elicits the conscience and would want people pay attention to everything you are doing, so that you are able to carry all behind you in whatever you are doing.
The substantive issue. Let's go to
yes. No. So the substantive issue. Look, I don't have much to say beyond these things, but also to make the point that I hope that in doing all these things, you see, sometimes you can be seen to be doing the right things, but with an ulterior motive. Sometimes you can be seen to be doing the right things.
I like that.
But with ulterior motive.
I like that.
And so I am hoping that the OSP's intentions are also genuine. I'm hoping that the OSP's intentions are also not driven by personal interest, vendetta, and also the need for a certain regime job security.
Exactly.
I am hoping that we know what we are doing, the OSP knows what it is doing, because there's been several things that it has done, the OSP has done, and they all amounted to much ado about nothing. You see the package. So if you come in with that radicalism and then all of a sudden it slows down and fizzles out, then sometimes it becomes difficult for some of us to trust your intentions. Putting that aside, Kisia Jabin, once I was taking him on, I had some people calling me, why do you have issues with him? He's my classmate in Legon. I don't have a problem with him. Recently, I texted him, we exchanged some text. I don't have a problem with him. I urge him to go on, but I'm saying that in doing so, I would want him to be driven by patriotism. I'm hoping, because some people have come from several quarters, from the party, from the regime, and some top officials from the party that appointed him. And even in this current regime, some people have also made some point behind the scenes, quite forcefully, that they don't think that his intentions are genuine. And I'm saying that I hope that he's not being driven by personal interest, vendetta, and maybe his quest for some regime security. If he's driven by patriotism, if he's driven by his quest to fight corruption, if he's driven by his mandate to ensure effective prosecution of those who have looted state resources, then we applaud him and we'll give him all our support. I think basically this is what I want to say. I think there is a meaty issue on the table that I want to talk about.
And you see,
the MPP.
But the fundamental issue here is that answers need to be given.
Yeah.
To the 5 issues that.
Why not? I believe that. No. I believe that. No.
I think
all these things. You see, I support the work of the OSP. Whatever it is looking for from Ken Oforiatta, I mean, it is the right, it is the mandate, and Ghanaians must support, Kisi in going about that route. But I'm saying that in doing all these things, let these things be done, taking cognizance of the fact that if he's truly unwell, okay, then let us also factor that. But I raise the issue that it gets curious. But you've explained that now oftentimes that people are being investigated, they fall sick. So tomorrow, we should all know that the pressures will be unbearing. If you are looting state resources, if you are mismanaging the mandate, the fiduciary trust of the people that has been reposed in you, take note that if you are someone, you may fall sick.
Yes.
Some are feeling the sickness.
You go to.
I was going to come to you
okay.
so that we don't have to. But Prof, I think that the OSP has also been consistent that they have not received any medical report as yet from.
Well, so then it fits into what Martin is saying, that maybe there is a certain trust deficit. Okay,
absolutely.
There's a certain trust, and I'm wondering that don't you think that it would be appropriate for the OSP to just take a flight to where Mr. Oforiatta says he is, or send dispatch people to go see that he is truly where he says he is, because from the report he's given several possible locations.
So we keep saying that even today he's where he is.
Yes.
As I said, because of what he's done in the past, OSP cannot trust him that he will come. So we can't take chances. So even if you find out that he's in the Mayo Clinic today, it's not guaranteed that in 3 months he will come. So let this process go on. But also let's begin to take his offer for the Zoom. And as I said, when I say the Zoom interview, I don't mean that one. But it means that now modify it and tell him that we want to arrest you first in order to take the statement. Then let's hear. So let's do the 2. But as for the possible, as for the fact that it's possible that he has actually done the surgery, we can't use it as a reason not to do anything. No. Once he has in the past not honored his words, don't give him that chance. Just go on with the extradition processes, etc. If he recovers in time, and then the extradition process hasn't reached there, nothing stops him from flying to Ghana by himself. But you see, by then, because the Interpol alert is there, maybe they will get him at the airport. He brought this upon himself.
No, you want to take a little of my time before I continue?
No.
Okay. So I just want to make. Martin took 40 minutes to talk. Martin took 40 minutes.
He did it.
So you see, because of the nature of President Mills, so many things happened that were glossed over. And I am sure that those, the nature and the Fama Nyame attitude and posturing of President Mills, which I know led to the straining of his relationship with the founder of the party, accounted for some of the things, created a certain impunity in the body politic, and it has accounted for some of the things that have happened or that took place in the previous regime. The survival of our democracy is highly contingent on how President Mahama strengthens institutions of state to ensure that those who have run afoul of our laws are brought to book.
Okay.
I'm saying that if we don't succeed in dealing with some of these issues, the fourth Republican Democratic practice will be short-lived, because then eventually people will say that they are all the same. And so I am urging the institutions of state, Office of Special Prosecutor, to be driven by patriotism, to do whatever it wants to do. Attorney General, now people say he's very fearful, especially when he's giving his updates and all that. He should go ahead to do whatever he's going to do. And they should give, President Mahama and all the institutions of state should give them all the backing that they need, so that we will truly reset Ghana to where it is supposed to be properly belong to. Otherwise, if we fail, then we cannot continue our fourth Republican Democratic practice, because it will embolden other people to say that they want to take the law into our own hand. Now there's a certain confidence, there's a certain belief, there's a certain reinvigoration in the psyche of people that, look, things are going to be done right. Yeah. And it is important that we sustain this. It's becoming one too many. When big arrests are made, big people are being investigated, we lift it high, and then before you realize, it fizzles out. In Ghana, if an issue happens...
Romancing the stone.
If an issue happens, you only have to pray that a bigger issue, occur to come and douse whatever it's... And then soon we are not talking about it again. So I pray that we sustain the momentum in our quest to fight corruption. It should never happen that another issue would come and torpedo some of the bigger issues that the OSP is investigating. We should keep all these things on the front burner of public discourse with a view to sustaining public interest in them, so that if we have you have some party officials bragging with impunity. They said we stole, but when they came, they have not even been able to arrest us. This time, I'm saying that there is no Atamilsian attitude in President Mahama. I believe that he will do what is right, and that's why I'm urging him that he should never be swayed by people who all of a sudden are praising him as if we are all kids. Okay. Yesterday, you condemned him as the most incompetent person. Today, you are saying he's the most whatever. I think it doesn't make sense. And we are not kids. We can read in between the lines. If you think that Ghanaians are ignorant, then you are super ignorant.
Thank you. Well, talk about reminders. There's Dr. Inkum, Asarinkum says, good morning. I think Lǒǒtěd people should also add these to his reminders. The latest on the Reverend Intim Fodio allegations, it appears that because the big issues are happening on a weekly basis, that has also lost out on the radar. Alfred, keep tabs on this one, and then also what has happened to the investigations into the allegation that Alexander Kwenyomake made that some national security operatives who searched the house of the former Bank of Ghana governor stole 10,000 cedis from his home. What is the final outcome of that? Was that true? Well, guess what? I would try and get some answers for you.
Thank you, Dr. Inku. Yeah, we'll be doing the reminders.
Yes,
Thank you.
That's to you, Counsel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
No, you're done.
Yes.
You give people 40 minutes.
No.
Yes, I mean,
We have to do
so-
the illegal aspect.
I think the most important issue is about getting a resolution
Yes.
to this matter. Samida Ako posted on his social media handle not too long ago, a few days ago. Take a look at this. It says, you may choose to distort facts or shift the goalpost, but the truth remains. As of today, Ken Foriata has not produced any certified medical report. So, Prof, that's just on the point you made.
It's not produced any
So this is why we say his response
medical reports. Well, I mean,
it's been shambolic. Yeah, the way it's responded to the OSP and managed it, like lawyer man.
But you guys in the media, why didn't you ask the wife about this? Because they should have.
From relax. He didn't speak to us.
Okay.
Yeah. She didn't speak to us, I beg your pardon. From his personal attending physician or
Yeah.
hospital, indicating that he is incapacitated or unable to travel. It goes on to
And
say,
that's basic. That's something they should have done.
But you
They
see-
haven't done. So you see why we keep
he
saying
was
that
given the
there's
opportunity
a lot
to
of
appear
bad
before
things.
law enforcement
but you
between
see-
February 10 and June 2nd, but failed or refused to do
Yes.
so. Notably, he did not undergo any surgery
Ah,
on
you
21st
see?
to 22nd March,
Yes.
despite a statement from his medical coordinator, widely circulated online,
You see
suggesting
why I said-
otherwise.
Ah,
Furthermore,
this is where
as Mr. Foriata not traveled in
lost
and out
everything.
of the UK and USA between March and 31st May, if he is able to fly internationally, what prevents him from appearing before law enforcement? That's the
Excellent. Yeah.
You see,
Yes.
question.
It speaks for itself. It's a communications and strategy.
Sorry. But you see, with regards to communication, okay, you go back to the first thing that he said, the first slide. You see, you may choose to distort the facts or shift the goalposts. You are communicating in a certain language that is supposed to carry all of us on board.
Okay.
It's not.
You don't have a communicator who wants to do this.
not.
Right?
Okay.
Talk-
We'll
speaking
draw
this
his
way.
attention. We'll draw his
That's what I mean by the fact that the OSP needs a matured communication.
Who is the guy?
Lawyer. He's the director of strategy.
You don't say that you may choose to distort.
I want you to answer that question.
That is not a matured way of communicating.
Thank you.
They say that in one of
Why are you doing this? Why are you supporting
hold on. For example,
like that?
Oh, no, not fully. But I said there are parts I disagree.
I think you made
other
your point.
parts. And I also agree with you that we hope it's not for ulterior motives.
Exactly.
Yes, so I told you I
think you
agree
made your point.
on that side.
abusua we ne ensema ekoso ewo political highway ne so Professor Gyampo na yete ne nka se all to be mane eye Gabby a enye asem keto akra eye Ken Foriata issue no ene ko reason sa ensem we nyina ediba ye bedam asesem je pene kokoti sa ensem we edima aha eye POG Media so bedam ase